What's up, guys? So brand new awesome information just came out for Diablo 4. We're going to be talking about Season 1 and Season 2, and updates will be coming very soon, within about 1 to 3 weeks. This was all revealed in a update that was called the Campfire Chat. I'm going to go ahead and summarize the 1+ hour video in a short little video here. So starting right off, let's go over the things that actually matter. When is Season 1 starting? They said mid to late July, so that's going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. But there is also going to be a mega patch that's going to have some awesome buffs. They said lots of buffs coming, so I'm really excited about that. And we actually have a hint on some of the classes that will be getting buffed in Season 2, which is awesome. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into it. This video is going to be kind of sorted into several different categories. The first thing I'm going to talk about is pre-Season 1. Then I'm going to be talking about things that they mentioned that, like, we hear you, that you want this update, but we don't have an official announcement of when this is coming. And then we also have Season 2 and of course Season 1. So starting right off, the thing that everyone wants to know is, of course, Season 1 is actually pretty much done, is the correct word. So they're not actually working on it, they're just getting maybe certain things ready. And there is a 13-page mega patch that will be coming into the game, and that is going to be happening relatively soon, which a lot of these updates will go over what's actually coming. So the preseason is going to be within 1 to 3 weeks. We will be getting this patch. So this patch over here is a buff to XP on Nightmare Dungeons. So that's going to be awesome. And then on top of that, sigils are going to now teleport us to the dungeon. So we don't have to actually go to the waypoint and then go to the dungeon. We can just right click on it, and that will be a massive win. It's going to super speed up the progression in terms of upgrading our glyphs, so that is a massive win. And then on top of that, any maxed out currency that you have, they're going to increase the cap on it, so that's just a quality of life change. Next up, they're going to be making on-ground effects easier to read, so that'd be any of the explosions that happen on the ground. That's going to be a very nice thing to have as well. On top of that, they're going to be making it so the druid bug, where you're getting uniques from specifically like the barbarian, that will actually be changed too. Again, this is about 1 to 3 weeks in terms of the time frame. And then lots of buffs coming. This was a very vague thing, but they mentioned a resource generation. So that might be natural regeneration. That is like your mana, your energy, your fury, your essence, spirit, whatever. They're going to give some sort of buff to it. Does that mean it's going to be on items, legendary powers? Does that mean it's going to be on the rings to give higher values? I don't know. This was just a really vague thing that they did mention, but at least we know that there's going to be lots of buffs coming. And also, a lot of people were wondering about the density. I wanted a buff to the density as well, as terms of like the monsters, right? If you play like the previous Diablo games, especially Diablo 3, like there's giant packs of monsters, but in Diablo 4, there's a lot of time where you're walking from here to there, and it's like a in-between, especially in the Hell Tides, right? Now, they said they're not going to be increasing density, but they're going to be giving us more XP for the stuff that we kill. So, at the end of the day, it's going to make the progression still a little bit better, but it's not going to increase density, which would, in theory, increase DPS for some characters which have like some sort of AoE, or if you're playing like a rogue with like a shadow imbue, yeah, you can get some massive big pops. And then on top of that, there is another section that I want to go over now that I talked about what's happening preseason. So let's talk about things that they mentioned in the patch that they hear us complaining about, but there's no official like stance on this yet. So as far as searching in the stash tabs, this is something I've been really looking forward to. They hear us, but they didn't say like, okay, this is coming Season 1 or Season 2 or anywhere. So maybe Season 3, or maybe it's never going to happen for these things. The party/dungeon finder, there's no mention of a date on this as well, but they hear us on that. Teleporting to party members without needing to go to town is another thing. If you play Diablo 3, it's very easy to group up, and you can right-click on their portrait in the top left, and then you can just teleport towards your teammates. Now, I think this would be a great change, but there could be other bugs or issues that cause this. I know that with resetting dungeons, there was a thing that you could do where you could just like enter your portal as soon as you went back into town and it would reset the dungeon. But this could cause issues with the glitches. It's not sometimes super simple just to like add that addition, because it could cause other issues in the game which would break. But nonetheless, they hear us on that, so hopefully that will be coming eventually, where again you can just right-click teleport to your own team members. So those are things that were mentioned, but they're not changing. Now let's talk about Season 1 now. So I've talked about what's happening, pre-Season 1, and we talked about things that they hear us, but they're not really like giving us a clear answer on. And then Season 1. So Season 1, this is really important, and this is the question that I wanted to know myself. Do we have to recollect the renown? Well, at the end of the day, this is kind of what it looks like. So we will be able to claim our skill points and the potion capacity and the other skill point, but the other ones you will have to actually get your renown for. So it's kind of a halfway point. So you do not need to collect your Altars of Lilith. You will still get all the power, but you still need to get the renown. So you're going to have to do basically most of the dungeons and stuff to get that again. And this is for the new season. Now, if you guys haven't played a season before, to kind of explain it really briefly, you are basically on a brand new account. All the stuff in your stash you cannot take out and just give it to your seasonal character. Seasonal characters will start off at level 1 and you're going to have to progress. Now, another thing that is mentioned for season 1, do you have to do the campaign again? Because you know how you unlock the skip campaign after you complete the campaign, you do not need to do that again. The map is going to be revealed is what they said, but you don't have to get the altars for the powers, but of course for getting your renown, you're going to need to go ahead and do that. So on top of that, the top part of the renown, you can still unlock that. That's like the bonus XP and gold. It doesn't really matter though. We're really here just for the Paragon points at the end of the day, which you're gonna have to farm renown for to actually acquire. So it's kind of a middle ground. At least we don't have to collect the statues. You'll get the points, but you're maybe gonna need to still get the statues if again you want the renown. So that is what's mentioned for Season 1. Now, let's hop into Season 2. Now, this is one thing that got shown off in World Tier 5. Is World Tier 5 coming out in Season 1? I don't know. But as far as we are aware of in terms of stash space, I covered a video. There was in a data mine, which means they're taking like some of the code that was released in some of the wording. There is going to be a stash tab bonus that you can acquire by just completing a bunch of like the season journey if you play Diablo 3. Think of it kind of like that. You have a bunch of objectives and milestones to meet, but some of these are really easy. It's just to complete a dungeon, do some sort of like objectives and like side quests, probably complete grim favors, simple stuff like that. Like it's not going to be anything super huge that you need to do, but this will unlock you your extra stash tab. How many stash tabs? I don't know. My guess is hopefully at least 2, ideally more. Are they going to sell it? This is a frequently asked question. No announcement on like them selling stash tabs, but this is actually pretty big. So this is going to be a major buff to the Necromancer as well as the Sorcerer. They are going to be affecting resistances in Season 2, which really come down to when you are playing the Necromancer or Sorceress, the main stat. The reason why they are a little bit more squishy right now than the other classes is Rogue has dodge, armor is just superior in general, but yeah, Sorc and Necro would be getting a massive buff in the survivability department. Another thing that they did mention, this is more for hardcore players, but it can affect players that aren't playing on softcore as well, or if you just have like bad internet. So it can apparently pop your scroll, the escape, if you know some disconnects or some other errors happen on their end, like maybe like a server side issue where there's some sort of lag, but there's going to be disconnect immunity, and this was mentioned in Season 2. So that's the information that we have from the campfire chat. If there's anything else that you guys are wondering that I can't answer, let me know down below in the comment section below. But there's no information, by the way, on like what the seasonal theme is. So that's the information that we have. So I would say overall, this is a massive win, but I wish they were more specific on the massive buffs coming that is going to help out with resource generation. But when that news does drop, I will cover it. So if this is your first time here, make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification on and you'll definitely see it. But I'll see you guys in the next video, and check out the comment for even more Diablo content.